Welcome to another edition of the Boscovs Berks Jazz Fest Backstage Pass here on the People Chronicles. This series is made possible by the Berks Arts Council. We thank them for that. And in fact, we thank the Berks Arts Council for staging the entire Boscovs Berks Jazz Fest, 28 years now. And we thought if we're going backstage, we really need to walk backstage. And when you do that, at any number of venues over the years, you always find Marvanne Kouvaros. So we gotta call Marvanne.
Thank you.
How many years? I mean, you don't know, 28 years or?
I haven't been there since the beginning, but a good 20. So
a good 20.
Yes, a good 20. So I've kind of lost track of the years. They sort of merged together for me after a while, but yes.
When I first met you, and you get to go backstage, you're going to MC a concert, and you're often there. It depends. Do you have a particular venue that's your home, or do you meander to a number of them?
I do have a venue that I try to stay at, but I do go to all of them now because I want to make sure everything's all right with everyone.
That is why then I see you everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm flash in and out.
You're omnipresent.
Yes, I am. I am.
So when I first met you, I thought, well, she must work for the Jazz Fest. You know, you work for the fest and that's what you do. And I actually wondered if you went across the country and you traveled to different jazz fests. But this is an avocation for you.
Yeah, I don't go across the country.
What's your day job?
My day job I was a teacher for 30 some years. And so this was natural, they told me, to work with musicians.
there's a backstage tip.
Because they've told me that children need to be corralled, and so do musicians at times. I've gotten that from some of the managers, but always in jest. You know, they've been wonderful people.
But in some cases, depending on how many members of the band,
yes,
there is some corralling.
Yes, there
involved.
is. Yes, there is. So.
How do you describe your role? What do you do exactly?
Well, I make sure that all the venues are staffed. I work with production, so I'm an offshoot of production. We meet together, we go over contracts and writers, and
oh my.
Then I have meetings with the venues and we plan what is needed and we kind of go from there.
Now wait, when you get into contracts and writers,
yes, and
then you meet with the venue, is that safe to assume then certain bands require certain things or amenities?
Yes, they do. We have standard things that we provide for them, but we try to check. There may be certain artists that like certain things, particular things. From doing it for so long, I have a good idea of what some of the needs are in the writers. So,
what kind of things? Are we talking about musical things, staging, or something to eat?
I'm predominantly food, anything that's behind the scenes. I'm not usually on the stage unless I have to help out with something. Everything that I do would be backstage, so I take care of the food. Now, I have already helped out if someone needs a hairbrush for fingernail polish or what have you. I've run people places to get some of the things that they need, but I predominantly stay at the venue.
So you're kind of like hospitality.
I am hospitality. That is truly what our laminates say, hospitality. So,
Marvanne, do you have any idea, and I'm not sure that you do, maybe you do, how much appreciated what you do, how much it's appreciated by all of the artists? Because during this Backstage Pass series, we talked to a number of them, and it's like, well, what do you keep coming back? What's so special about Boscovs Berks Jazz Fest? The way we're treated, the hospitality. It just jumps off their lips.
Well, we have a wonderful bunch of people that help to do it, and there's different people at every venue, and every venue is somewhat different in their setup, but it's nice to know that we're appreciated because I feel like our family's coming back to visit for the year when they come in because there's so many performers that have been repeat performers that they really are an extended family in a sense.
Family is a good word for it.
Yes.
And I think when the artists say that, and truly it leaps right out. There's no hesitation. They don't think about it. It's just there. And that's coming from people who do travel not just the country but the globe. So they're
Right.
at fests in any number of places, and by far this stands out, and by far for that reason. So good job. Kudos to you. Thank you. That's fabulous.
We want to keep everyone happy.
So does it compare a little bit to teaching? Or did it? Are there some...
Well, actually, that is how I got involved in Jazz Fest. I worked with Reading High School Marching Band, and one of the members of our staff said, why don't you come, move some equipment, you'll get a shirt, you'll be a part of things. And I said, well, I can't do that. And he said, yes, you can. So I thought, well, I'm going to try it. And I did. And what happened was I got involved with the kids, with the youth in jazz. So then I worked with that. But because of my previous experience at college, and I worked with concerts. And so I thought, I wonder if they need anybody for hospitality. So I went to a Jazz Fest meeting, and I asked if they needed someone, and I told them that I had a little bit of experience, and that's kind of what happened. I also worked for some concerts at the Astor Theater.
Oh my goodness,
and
wow.
So I did it at college, I did it at the Astor, and I work at venues now as well.
And it's always been hospitality?
Always. Well, I did do security at Hershey Park, and everyone laughs when I
Look
say
out.
that. Because they look at me and think, oh my goodness, you're not a very impending force. But I did do that.
That story in and of itself speaks to why you might want to volunteer for Boscovs Berks Jazz Fest. And it is run by, I mean, literally that army of volunteers makes it so popular as well. So now I would assume that you're in charge of your own group of volunteers.
Yes, but we work together, Gary and I, who is the production manager. We work together at making certain that things are staffed, and if there's a hospitality issue, they'll call me, and if it can't be resolved, I'll call Gary. So, you know, it's the chain of command.
I get the sense you resolve pretty much.
I try to, because everyone has so much that they're responsible for when Jazz Fest actually hits that, you know, as long as we can keep everyone happy, we're good.
Without naming a band or an artist, what's one of the more peculiar or strangest or unique requests that you've had?
Well, I had to make an elixir one time with honey and apple cider vinegar, and it was a concoction that I had to put together and give that to them. When they have vocalists, sometimes they need the honey and that soothing for their throat. This was a little bit more than, could I have some honey and tea? So we went and got the organic things and tried to accommodate them as best we could.
Have you kept the recipe, just in case you have that issue?
I have not, and perhaps I should have, because that may be something that I may need in the future. So.
That's hilarious. We have a series of 5 quick questions that we're asking everybody that stops by the Backstage Pass here. Okay. And are you ready for that?
I hope so. We'll try.
Okay, so what does jazz mean to you? What do you think of when you hear jazz?
I think of music. I think of family. My mother and father used to listen to Benny Goodman and Duke Ellington and the greats of their time, and then my husband was very much involved with jazz because his father loved it so much. So this is an extension of my at-home family.
Oh, that's pretty cool. How has jazz impacted your life, or in what ways?
Well, it's kept me active. It's brought a lot of joy to my life, because when you're working at these things, you meet so many people. It's about the music, but it's about the people as well.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's some amazing and wonderful personalities.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Over the years, all these years, who could you list as maybe some of your jazz mentors over those years?
Well, I'm not sure about my mentors, but the people who got me involved in the program for the festival would be the people from the marching band staff, and a natural transition were the people from the Arts Council, who were very welcoming to me into their community.
So what did you do for the marching band?
I had various roles. I was assistant band director at one point, and then the band front advisor, and I did uniforms, and I spent 23 years doing that.
So again, it's that behind the scenes, making
Yes.
sure everything's working, so when they're on stage or on the field, it's flawless.
Yes, and I would announce for them as well.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I was the announcer for the Red Knights Marching Band.
I heard it. I just heard that. Oh my goodness. What would you say is your jazz legacy?
I would like everyone to have a smile on their face and a tummy that's full.
You do that very well,
That's
without
good.
a doubt. And then, and this is a tough one because there are so many, but maybe what is one of the highlights in these 20 years that kind of sticks with you, a jazz memory, or Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest highlight?
There are so many, but one that always comes to mind when we talk about incidents that happened would be one time I took 3 gentlemen shopping from a band, and they all wanted different things, and I took them to the outlets. One was very tall, and I was afraid he wasn't going to fit in my car, so another one wanted baby clothes, another one wanted luggage. What happened was, at the end of their shopping trip, they all ended up in a shoe store and bought the same pair of shoes. And when they went to perform that evening, they all showed their shoes off. And it looked like my 3 sons in the beginning of the show, where they tapped their toes. And I always remember that because we had a lot of fun that time, and we just chuckled about that.
That is a cool memory, and that does speak to family, because that's what family does for each other. We are fortunate to have you at the helm of hospitality, Marvanne. You do a fabulous job, and thanks for taking the time and sharing it with us here.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
See you at the fest.